Hi, welcome back to the We Are Tearfund YouTube channel. My name's Dot, I'm part of the We Are Tearfund community, and I would love to share a few thoughts and a few tips about how we read the Bible. The Bible, what we know about the Bible is that the same words that God spoke when he said, "Let there be light," and light appeared out of nowhere, and "let there be trees," and they grew, and "let there be ducks," and ducks happened. Those same amazing, powerful words of God are the same words written here in the Bible. If you've ever wondered, how do I hear the voice of God? It's right in here. So creating a rhythm of reading the Bible in our lives is so important to our following of Jesus. Let me give you a few ideas for how we do that. So first off, find a time every day that you're going to read the Bible. Try and make it the same time every day, because then it becomes a habit. Like after breakfast you brush your teeth. Well, what about before breakfast? I'm going to read the Bible. Whatever it might be, find a time. And then this one's hard, but try and make sure that that time you've set aside, you're not going to get distracted. Put your phone on airplane mode. If it's later in the day, turn the TV off. Find a quiet space, because this is your precious time to hear the voice of God. Don't let it be interrupted. And start in worship. Start by saying how much you love God, how much you adore him, how thankful you are to him. And you could do that by putting a worship song on, by starting painting something, by praying. But when we start in worship, we prepare our hearts and we say, "Lord, please, we love you. Would you reveal to us something of yourself today?" And then when you come to your passage, read it through and then read it again. And if needs be, read it again and again and again. Because the word of God is not a tick box exercise. "Oh, I've read my Bible today, I'm a good Christian." Done. For years, that was my approach to reading the Bible. And if I'm honest, it meant that the Bible didn't really impact in my life. The word of God didn't impact in my life because it was just, I'd tick the box. And then I put it back in the drawer and it was gone for the rest of the day. Instead, dwell, weird word, but dwell, spend time, ponder the things that this Bible verse and chapter is saying. Read it a few times, read it slowly. Read it in another translation. The Bible wasn't originally written in English, it was written in Greek or Hebrew. And in the translation, sometimes we get to see a little bit more of what God is trying to say. Don't hurry past the passage, but dwell there. Allow those words to speak really powerfully. And then what I like to do, I like to ask myself 4 questions about the passage. First question, what does this tell me about God? What does this tell me about him, about his character, about the things that concern him, the things that bring him joy, the things that delight him? What does it tell me about God? The second thing, what does it tell me about the people he's writing to? So for example, there are loads of letters in the second bit of the New Testament, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians. Well, they're not written to me here in Cardiff, they're written to a community, a church in Ephesus. So what is this passage trying to say to them? And I mull on that and I let that distill and work it out and have a think and imagine what might that have looked like. And then my third question is this, what in here is meaningful, and what can I learn, and what can I implement in my life? What can I start thinking about? How does this help me love God more? How can I understand this passage in my context? And then the fourth thing I ask myself is, what does this passage mean for the world I find myself in the global community and the global neighbourhood that I live in? What does this passage mean, and what does this passage say into that space? So those are 4 questions I go through just as I'm reading the passage. And let's do it really quickly, really super fast now. So let's pick Isaiah chapter 58, start at verse 5. "Is this the kind of fast I've chosen? Only a day for a man to humble himself? Is it not only bowing one's head for like a reed and lying on sackcloth and ashes? Is this what you call a fast? A day acceptable to the Lord? Is not this the kind of fasting I've chosen? To loose the chains of injustice, untie the cord of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke. Is it not to share your food with the hungry, to provide the poor wanderer with shelter, when you see the naked to clothe him, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? Then Your light will break forth like the dawn. Your healing will quickly appear. Your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. So we come to the passage, we read it a few times, and we ask ourselves, what does this tell me about God? Well, this tells me that God is really concerned with my habits and practices of worship. He's really concerned that my following him is not just about me and myself. He's really concerned that when I follow Jesus, this is about living globally, loosing the cord of injustice, being meaningful in our world. It tells me that God's really concerned about worship, about living, I guess it goes on in the New Testament to say, loving our neighbour as we love ourselves. God's really concerned about that. Second thing, what does it say to me about who this is written to? So this is in Isaiah, and this is Isaiah. He's a prophet. He's been given a message by God to God's people. And so this is being said to the people of God. People who follow me, you got it kind of wrong. The fasting I've chosen is not that you just do things for yourself. The kind of fasting I've chosen is that you are active against injustice. You are meaningful in your pursuit of justice. And what does it say to me? It says to me, God is really concerned that my life makes a difference. My life plays a part in the story he's writing of justice in the world. And what does it, the fourth question, how do I understand this in the context of what's going on in the world? Well, in Yemen, there is a conflict, there is a war that's been going on for 5 years. 12 million children are in desperate poverty because of it. When I read this passage, then I can't ignore, when I scroll through my Instagram feed and I'm looking at what's happening in Yemen, I can't ignore that. I need to get on my knees and I need to pray. So there's a few tips on reading the Bible, and I wanted to suggest a few places that are really good for inspiring us. So if reading is not your thing and you find reading really hard, download the YouVersion app on your phone, because it reads it to you and you can listen, and you can press reread and you can listen to it a few times. It's brilliant. If you're looking for a Bible that helps you doodle and journal and write down the stuff that you've been doing, I really recommend this one. It's the Good News Bible, the youth edition, put together by amazing friends at YFC, Youth for Christ, because it has spaces where you can doodle and draw. It's amazing. If you want ideas for what passage to do each day, then the Youth Bible in a Year is a brilliant forum for that. It has every day a different passage, and over the course of the year, you'll have read the whole Bible. So good. And don't forget to get creative. If you're a painter, paint while you're reading the Bible. If you are a musician, write songs that help you express what you are learning. If you love silence and meditation, spend time in silence and meditating on the Word of God. But there are a few tips, and I really hope they're helpful, and I really hope that they bless you. And let's remember together that the Bible, that's the very words of God that flung stars into the galaxies.